So I've taken the machine out of its enclosure. It's a bit easy to film and show it operating. I wanted to do a quick video because I'm selling this unit on eBay. It was a CNC machine purchased on Amazon. It's a 3018 and it's been upgraded to 3040, so it's got the extended base, which is this length here. It's also had an upgraded motor. It's got a vacuum hose adapter connector going on there. I've not connected a vacuum up because the test I'm about to run is on a bit of acrylic. It isn't going to throw up too much dust, and when it's actually in its enclosure, it's a little bit easier to put the vacuum in. I could put a vacuum in just to show you where it would go. Back here, the vacuum hose goes into the back there, and there's the pipe, and it runs to that plate there, which, you know, it's reasonably effective. Also with this unit, all of this will come with the unit. The hose, the attachment and everything will come with this setup. I've got a little bit of acrylic here that I'm cutting. I've got a couple of clamps holding it down, and I've got this square. The square isn't necessarily so useful. I'll include it in the sale, but what it really does, it allows you to repeat a particular exercise over and over again. So if I want to do many of these, I'll have my position set so I can have these plates ready and put them in place and run the cut again, put them in place and run the cut. It just saves on setup time. The clamps, you see there are a couple of clamps. I'm going to supply with this unit a whole load of clamps, and I'll show you those in a minute. But I want to demonstrate the unit first. I'm running on Easel. Easel is a free bit of software. It's browser based. I won't go into Easel itself. That's covered in many videos on YouTube, so you can find tutorials. It's very simple to use. From all the CNC software, if you're just doing 2D engraving and some basic cuts, it is brilliant. It'll allow you to get into this with minimal effort and almost zero setup time. So the piece, the material there that I've got on my screen represents the piece that I have on the board, which is that. The size is the same, so I'm going to do a very quick design and then I'm going to cut it. So here you go, here's my quick design. It says CNC 340 for sale on eBay, thumbs up. And here we go. It's given us an indication as to what it might look like. It's just a simple engraving. I mean, yeah, it'll do for the purpose of a demonstration, I'd like to think. But anyhow, let's give it a shot. Let's send it to the machine and see how well it produces the engraving. All right, so I'm going to run the cut. It's using a little engraver piece. There we go. Confirm bit size, new position, raise the bit, turn on spindle, and here's where it gets loud. So there we go, that's the final cut. I'm going to take it off here and we'll have a proper look. It seems okay. And you can see it's messy, but had I been cutting wood, it would have been a lot more messy and we'd need the little vacuum up. I've moved this out of the way because it sometimes gets in the way of the cut. but you can move it up and down. Anyhow, let me take it out and I'll show you the final product. So there we go, that's the final cut. Yeah, it looks reasonable. Yeah, I could have played about with the settings and got a slightly cleaner cut, but for the purpose of demonstration, to show the machine works, I think it's sufficient. And also I should have done it in reverse, meaning you cut the text in reverse on this side, so when you flip it over, it's basically in mirror image you're supposed to do, but that's neither here or there. The point of this was to show you the machine functioning. So that's the machine. It will be sold with the enclosure, and I'm going to put the machine back in the enclosure now and show you what it's like in the enclosure. But also I'm going to show you the accessories and bits that I have that will go with the machine. So just a quick look around the machine before I show you all the accessories I'm including in the sale. So there's a lot of custom parts on this machine. They don't come standard with what you get off of Amazon. So this machine was originally purchased on Amazon, I think about $170 I paid or something like that. So that was some time ago now. I mentioned the board's been extended, but the board itself I've customized it, just painted it black because it was looking ugly. It's got a little acrylic logo in there, little set square type thing. I mentioned that before. The Hoover attachment or the vacuum attachment. Give you a closer look at that. It's not brilliant, but it works. I mean, it's a bit of a pain to be honest. I don't use that often because this thing's a bit too rigid, and when the thing moves back and forth, this thing just feels like it's I don't know. I just think it's easier getting a hose and just using the vacuum by hand. But I'll just take you around and show you where it goes to. It goes to here, and at the back here there is an attachment which is a vacuum, a 30mm, I think it's a 30 or 35mm vacuum adapter, which I will obviously include with the unit when it's sold. Other than that, there's nothing else that's custom on it. You've seen it work. The motor, I'm going to show you what motors I'm including in the sale. There's more than one. The steppers are all standard. What else? So originally I was going to sell the unit with these kind of clamps, which were clamping down material on the bed. I don't like these clamps, and I don't think anyone really think these are ideal. So I decided to throw my clamp set in the sale, which is somewhat better. So I'm putting this in the sale. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to keep this for my own use, but it's I've recently acquired some more clamps. So what you got here is some mini clamps, these ones, and then the larger ones. It's just a nice set, and I think it goes nicely with this. You've got your tools in here as well for changing the cutting piece. So you've got two spanners which you need, and some Allen keys, which are for adjusting things, which go nicely into those holes, and they kind of got the magnetic catch that pulls it in. So I'm including that in the sale. I'm also including these Dremel 3000 holders. This one, the grey one here, has 8mm bearings in, and the white one here takes 10mm bearings. When you use the white one, you need to use this carriage, which has the appropriate 10mm shafts, and when you use the grey one, you can use the standard carriage thing that's on the machine already. I prefer the grey one, to be honest. It's just less hassle. You have to swap out bearings when you use this one, and every time you take the bearing out of here, it can cause damage. It does cause damage, and you end up having to buy new bearings. So I don't tend to use the white one. I've used it once, and to be honest, I cracked it when I first used it. Can you see the crack there? It works still, and it doesn't hinder performance, and I've put a bit of glue in there, and not that it needed it. It wasn't going to fall apart, and it's been like that for many months. But I think I forced the Dremel too far in, and it cracked it. And then when I tightened this screw here that goes in here, it just pulled it too tight and cracked. This one hardly seen any use at all, but I have used it a few times. You can see it looks spotless. and it's much easier to put in. Now, I'll be just a warning with the Dremel tool. When you put the Dremel in here, it's not as it's a heavy. This is heavy stuff, and the Dremel machine's heavier than the standard build, so it does cause a bit of play here. So you just have to bear that in mind. I've been using the standard motor just because it's the machine's a lot more, feels a lot more solid with the standard motor. Not that you can't use the Dremel. I've cut many things with the Dremel, but this is a easier build to work with. You're also going to get a couple of these vacuum attachments that actually attach directly onto the Dremel machine. The Dremel will go into this hole here, and you can see that's where the dust goes into. I have two of these. I have one in white and one in grey. I don't know where the white one is right now, but I'll include it in the sale. You'll also get the 3 motors in total, the one that's already installed in the machine. This one, which came standard with the machine, and then there's the Dremel. That's in there. I paid £30 for it. I got that off Amazon. It's a slightly more powerful, with a higher RPM than the original. It's more noisy, but it does cut better, but it's definitely more noisy. The Dremel will be, it's probably only a few months old. It's going to be included in the sale, and I'll obviously give you the spanner for releasing the tool. There are no actual tool bits included in the sale. I'm using them on my new machine, so you're going to have to buy some tool bits. They're not expensive. You've probably seen them on Amazon or eBay, so you're going to need to get yourself a set of those. There's a Z probe, which is for getting the tool on your workpiece at the Z-axis height before cutting. I never used it, to be honest. I didn't bother. I find it just as easy to do it manually, but it's there should you want it. The set of instructions which came with the original 30818 machine, when it was a 3018, and then they're there if you should want them. I've not used them since originally building the machine, and really it just tells you how to build it. But it'll be useful if you ever want to change the head. Then you've got the instructions how to dismantle it. This is the enclosure. I'll talk you through the enclosure. It's a custom build. It's got a nice acrylic front with a metal handle. What else can I say about it? It's got its hinged front. You've got a little side window there, and it's built out of MDF. Inside, it's a sound deadening insulation, the type of thing you use in cars. So it's obviously to reduce the noise. There's a LED switch here with lights, colours you can change should you wish to do so. Quite why you would, I don't know, but there should you want it. And it does look quite nice actually. So it's quite a nice looking unit when you've got when the lights on. And obviously, it other than being decorative, it's also quite handy when you're running the machine. The machine lights up, and I'll show you the machine back in the box in a second. So there you go, there's the machine in the box. And it lights up nicely. Probably not so handy if you probably want a better colour if you're actually running the machine. But yeah, you go, put it in nice white light there. It looks blue, but it's actually white, which is quite handy when you're running the machine. You can see exactly what it's doing. But yeah, as I say, it's not just decorative, it is actually quite useful. And you can close the lid and stop all the dust flying everywhere, which is obviously one of the main benefits of the box. So there you have it. That's everything in the sale. That's the Dremel box there with the Dremel machine in, all the bits I went through, the power supply, USB cable, and the machine itself. Obviously it's a sizable unit, it's heavy, you're going to need to pick it up. Certainly not going to post it, and I'd rather you pick it up anyway because I'd like to show you it working if you should, if you so wish. I don't have to. If you're content with it like this, you can take it like this, but if you'd like to see it in operation, I'd be more than happy to demonstrate it. I think that's it. Oh, hang on. Around the back, what we've also got is a four-way plug there, so it means you can plug everything up to here. The lights plug up to there. The CNC machine itself will plug up to this, and you can also plug in your vacuum and whatever. So you've got one socket going to the mains and everything else going to the box. Kind of handy. That's it. Any questions? Shoot me over an email either via the eBay listing or via YouTube, and I'll try and answer them. Alright, thank you very much for watching.